Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the tranquil side of Florida. This is Real Estate Matters, the voice of real estate in Flagler County and Palm Coast, Florida for over 12 years. I'm Toby Tobin. I'm publisher of real estate news website, gotoby.com. I'm a licensed realtor with Grand Living Realty. I'm joined today with co-host Anna Maria Long.
Good
Hello,
morning.
Anna Maria.
Hi.
How are you today?
I am well with my large coffee. How are you?
I've got my zero sugar Snapple.
I have lots of sugar, so
I can't have it.
sorry.
Anyway, Anna Maria is with the Flagler Home Builders Association, which is also one of our sponsors, along with Hammock Community Church, the little church in the woods on A1A in the Hammock. You can find me there Sunday mornings at the 11 o'clock service. If you don't want to see me, come to the 9 o'clock service. There are two services.
And you've been warned.
Yeah, it's a great church. It's traditional. We don't have a band. We have a real choir.
I have some friends that attend. They like it as well. So I guess it's for all ages too.
Yeah, it is. Although the demographics tend to lean towards my end of the spectrum.
Well, your end of the spectrum really likes my end of the spectrum, luckily.
Good. So let's go through some statistics. We're recording this on the 24th, Friday afternoon. So when you hear them tomorrow on Saturday, they'll be pretty up to date. So this is basically as of about noon today. The number of single-family homes sold, these are Flagler MLS statistics. Single-family homes and their Flagler County address single-family homes, 164. Days on market, 71. That's where we've been running for some number of months. Compared to 230 for the entire month last year, days on market, 60. But my guess is that 164 with a week to go will exceed last year.
We normally do. That last week is always the hard hitter.
Yeah, we can get 70 to 100 homes
easily
that last week. So 100 homes would put us at 264 versus 230. The median price month to date, $370,000 compared to $358,445 a year ago. But we're still 370s in that fairly narrow range that we've been in for 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at the low end of the market, the below 250K market, 7 homes have sold so far this month, 5 of them for cash. So that indicates that probably there's some investors in there. 17 days on market. So if you're priced right in that range, you're going to sell quickly. In the $1 million plus market, we've had 7 closings so far this month. 5 of those 7 were for cash. Days on market was quite high, but it's a limited sample. Listings are standing at 1,144 versus 1,438 a year ago. And just a reminder to those people that think our market is flooded, 1,144 homes. Last month we had, I can't even remember, it was over 300, I think, homes sold. Just barely over 300. So 1,100 is less than 4 months of inventory. That's not a glut on the market.
No, I laughed because I thought you were going to say that 1,144 is fewer than 1,438 from last year, which is also true.
Yeah, but it goes without saying.
Well, apparently it needs to be said. So
Yeah,
I thought maybe we were going to restate the obvious.
Sometimes I think you and I are the only ones that listen.
Hearing and listening are two different things. And I can say that as a parent.
So pending sales, 355.
5. Talking and speaking are also different. 355 versus 294 a year ago. And the pending list price is $389,900.
So that indicates that the median price is going to stay pretty much within our standard range over the next couple months as those pending sales close.
Very stable.
The index, which is the ratio of pending to listings, is 3.2, and a year ago it was 4.89. So that's indicating a stronger market. But we talked last week, remember, about how the market is really only strong in one segment.
Yeah.
That's holding the numbers up kind of artificially.
That's right.
And
If you missed that, definitely check it out and look at the show notes so you can see those percentages.
yeah, you can find that on the website under podcast for last week. Price increases in the last 7 days, 9. Price decreases in the last 7 days, 106. So we should have come up with a name, something as appropriate as Gindex for that
I'll work on
increase-decrease ratio.
Well, how many people do you think are still listing too high? Because I know we saw a lot of that after the COVID increases.
Well, I would say probably everybody.
Yeah.
And I say that as someone who's trying to sell a house, and I just lowered the price for the third time this last week. Distressing. I'm at that narrow band, not at the bottom end of the market, but at the lower end of the 250 to 500 range. And that's where the days on market are longer.
Yeah.
And percentage off list price is greater.
And those decreases also kind of go along with how badly you need to sell and how quickly you need to sell as well. You're going to accept less and decrease that price to get people in the door.
Well, I remember when the housing bubble burst and prices were dropping down, people were eventually dropping prices, but they typically followed the market down rather than leading it.
Yeah. Is there a way to check or to see how much they decrease by? Because I remember when I sold my house that if you decrease the price on the MLS, even if it's by $1,000, it will like show up for realtors again.
Yeah.
So it's kind of also a tactic.
It's a strategy. If you just go down like a half a point or something, that would just be to raise it up to raise the attention level.
Yes.
But I used to get calls back during when the bubble burst 20 years ago. They'd say, "My house is the lowest price house in my neighborhood. Why isn't it selling?" And I would respond and says, "Well, you're just the least overpriced," instead of being the lowest. But anyway, the market is what it is. New listings in the past 7 days, 74. New sales in the past 7 days, these are closings, 62. And new pending sales, 68. So these are all staying pretty much in a consistent range.
Yeah.
So I've got some opinions I want to talk about today.
Let's go. It's my favorite.
You have opinions as well, but it's interesting to try to square the conflicting opinions that have become so prevalent on social media. Virtually every local politician and keyboard warrior has spoken out in favor of more job availability, higher paying jobs, and increasing the ratio of commercial real estate tax revenue to residential property taxes, meaning we need more commercial real estate. These are all good things, and they're pretty much universally supported.
They are.
But yet, if you look at what the politicians are doing and what the social media warriors are saying, there's a lot of conflict between what...
And it's historical. It's every time for the past, as many times that I can think of, a business has tried to come.
I've been watching the market for 25 years, and it's the same.
I was literally screaming at my computer on Wednesday while listening virtually to the AHAC meeting, the Affordable Housing Advisory Council, as they were discussing bringing in commercial. And I just don't understand why it's not happening. Oh, I could tell you. Because every time commercial businesses try to come, you tell them, you being the electeds, tell them, oh, we don't want your kind.
Well, and they make them jump through such huge hoops.
Yes. And then other commercial businesses who might want to come are watching, perhaps like I am, and they're saying, I'm not even going to mess with that.
These people talk to each other.
Obviously, yeah.
So you do one bad thing to one bad prospect, and
might as well have done it to them all.
A dozen other companies that might have considered coming here don't.
Correct.
And I think a classic example is the cable landing station that's being built in Town Center. And in spite of the fact that there's no it's not a data center.
Yeah.
It is not, but it started the big data center argument. A lot of people still call it a data center. They still make comments about it as if it were a data center, and even if it were, those comments would be wrong.
Right.
There's just a simple inquiry to AI would answer so many people's questions, and I did this. We talked about it for a short while, not a full show at all, maybe a month or two ago. And I asked AI, basically, I said, to what extent has the cable landing station in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, which is up and running now, it's been there a while, to what extent has that affected the local economy, positively or negatively? And the response was very positive. And almost no negativism at all about it. But it took me less than a minute to type that query in, and I got a long response, so probably 5 minutes to read. But anybody with a keyboard could do the same thing, but they don't.
But no, and if they do, they'll ask, what are the negative effects? Instead of just a blank question, which is, what are the effects?
So anyway, it really boils down to high-tech brings high-tech jobs and high-tech incomes.
Yes, and that can extend all the way into manufacturing as well. It doesn't have to be just high-tech in terms of, like tech bros and thinking only computer stuff. We could have a manufacturing facility that requires a higher level of technology and internet and all of that, and that would still create blue collar jobs,
global companies need.
Yeah, exactly.
So one of the needs for commercial or industrial expansion is an available workforce. This is another thing I've been talking about.
We're lacking that. We've got a lot of the retired force.
But I came up with a new acronym. We all know NIMBYism, not in my backyard. But I've got a new one that's not even in my county.
Yeah.
Because, and
they just pop around to the next meeting.
Somebody's proposing a new subdivision someplace in Flagler County. And people from the other end of the county will show up complaining. They not only don't want that 50-foot lot next door to them,
they just don't want it at all.
They don't want it in the county.
How about just don't buy it and you could be fine? Because Flagler Beach has 50-foot lots. They have forever and everyone's fine.
So does most of Hammock Dunes.
Yeah, and everyone's fine.
And the conservatory.
And their property values are fine.
$1 million homes.
Yeah.
But anyway, I talk about workers. These workers, including hospitality workers, building trades, teachers, first responders, are not welcome here. And, if you can feel that when you go to a new area.
Yeah.
And they're not welcome in our neighborhoods. They're not even welcome in our county. And they shouldn't even be considered in plans for the western expansion. So we got to take a break, folks. Don't go away. We'll be back on the same topic. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for staying with us. This is the second half of Real Estate Matters. We're talking about the inconsistencies between reality and what we hear from politicians and social media warriors from time to time, almost constantly. And we're going to talk about several years ago, actually. I wrote an article I was writing about affordable housing and zoning and restrictive zoning. And one of the things that I said at the time was, and I was actually comparing the comprehensive plan for the city at the time to reality. The comprehensive plan said a healthy city, I'm paraphrasing, but a healthy city requires diverse housing to support every rung of the socioeconomic ladder, basically. And our implementation of our comprehensive plan has kind of ignored that promise. And
Very much
the
so.
comment I made at the time was, if you don't basically get off your butt and fix this, the state and the federal government are going to come in and fix it for you. And you're probably
And here
not,
we are.
and here we are. Just recently,
Every local government sits up there and goes, I just don't understand why we were preempted constantly, because y'all wouldn't quit messing up stuff.
so anyway, they're actually at both of those levels, state and federal level. We've had some recent legislation. The state has had Live Local Act a couple years ago, and they've just added some new changes to it and updated it, made it even stronger. And the federal government just recently passed a new housing, and it's being touted as the largest,
most comprehensive
Yeah.
housing package in decades. And unfortunately, that also means we likely won't see another one for decades.
Yeah, and it also means that it isn't probably what we would have done locally, even if we tried to do it right.
Yeah. And importantly, though, and notably, it was passed with strong bipartisan support,
Yes.
which is quite an accomplishment, I'd say, today.
The other thing that's I think a big plus for this new housing bill, the federal bill, is that it's not a large spending bill. It's not taking a whole bunch of federal dollars and throwing it at a problem, which is typically government's solution to problem. Just tax everybody some more. We'll just print money, create money, and spend it. And those are not typically good solutions. You've been doing a lot of reading and study. You've been to some
we actually,
high-level meetings
when we
about
went to the
this.
Capitol, when I was at the Capitol, this is one of our legislative priorities in getting the Senate to finish up with this bill.
Why don't you just give us a little summary of the high points?
Yeah,
the headline points.
Cutting red tape to build faster, which includes streamlined environmental reviews and local zoning and design incentives. Curbing Wall Street investor purchases. This one's huge. I know everyone was talking about BlackRock for the longest time. So protecting starter homes. And we talk about this locally a lot. Our AHAC does. They do a really good job with this. And fairer competition. Third key point is boosting financing and local lending. That expands community bank loans and a small mortgage pilot. So it's basically a targeted program to make smaller home loans under $100,000 easier for lenders to issue. Because currently, if you need a really small loan for a house, it's almost impossible to get. They're more than happy to give out more money than you need, but what you actually need is difficult. And then supporting manufactured and modern housing. And we saw some really cool stuff at the International Builders Show when it comes to these manufactured and modern homes. So there's updated manufactured home rules and fixing and preserving communities, which is just some grant programs to help repair and upgrade and preserve existing manufacturing homes.
In the manufactured home arena, I just want to throw in that what they've done is they've removed the chassis requirement for manufactured homes. So that makes them stackable. So you can see the mobile home factory built technology
Mhm.
move into the multifamily or multi-bedroom arena, two-story,
Yeah, they're
even
really
three-story.
and they're we saw some that were 2-story. I have a picture of Samantha up in a 2-story and like hanging out, not hanging, but like standing on the balcony. Really cool stuff. And importantly, they're all built to the building code. And then home repairs and disaster recovery. There's federal whole home repair grants that are forgivable loans, local support for local repair programs. Locally, we have the CDBG, the Community Development Block Grant. So if you're local here and you're going, what about us? You can go to the city of Palm Coast or Flagler County and look that up if you need help with something. And then permanent disaster aid framework. So it's a 3-year authorization for federal disaster recovery housing funds. So like FEMA type funding.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like you said, it's not just throwing money at the problem. It's using a mix of regulatory relief, local zoning incentives, and tweaks to financing to encourage the private developers and local governments to build millions of new housing units,
Mm-hmm.
which we do in fact need.
Yeah, and people do not realize the extent to which this is a national problem, and it is local, even though people will say we've got too much. We don't. But it's a national problem, and depending on what source you read, it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 to 6 million homes that were underhoused.
Yeah. And we know that we have people who would live in Palm Coast that are currently living in an outer area, whether that be Palatka or in Volusia County, for cost. And, you know, AHAC really did get it right during this last week's meeting, talking about that if we as the community, as the legislating bodies, don't get the westward expansion right when they do lay out the comprehensive plan for it, we're screwed.
Yes.
Absolutely screwed. This is our one opportunity to get the zoning right, to allow for these different land use types.
Yeah, generally, the land use decisions are under 100-acre parcels. Developer, builder will come in. I've got 72 acres or 23 acres. I want to put in a master plan community, so it's MPD zoning, homeowners association created, maybe a CDD. But with a western expansion, we're looking at, what is it, 20,000 acres? It's huge.
I don't know. It's so much. And
you can create this master plan that will be good for the next 50 or 75 years.
I mean, I think everyone's kind of in agreement that while ITT did what worked in the 70s here, and it was a cool idea, there's some shortcomings for Palm Coast. For example, you can't walk anywhere. Our walkability score is basically 0.
Mm-hmm.
The neighborhoods are designed in a very interesting way, all of them.
The cul-de-sac neighborhoods do not lend themselves to efficient public transportation.
Yeah, it's right. Public transportation is almost impossible. And then just like the random shopping corridors and stuff like that. It's just, we could do so much good over there. And that's why I keep on saying, like, I encourage everyone to, instead of hating on it, how about accept that it's going to happen and start talking about what you want to see.
Get it right.
Yeah, get it right.
Original Palm Coast, the stormwater management system, though, they did a swale job.
They did, and the swales be swaling. They be holding water.
So next week, you're going to be out. You're not going to be here next week because you're going to a conference.
Yes, I will be at the Southeast Builders Show and the Florida Home Builders Association Conference. And earlier in the week, I will be at the Association Leadership Institute, where I'll be a panelist / coach on the National Association of Home Builders Federation and the importance of the Federation. Be really busy, apparently.
Good. I already have a guest lined up for next week.
Awesome.
Christine McGrath, who's going to be talking about a topic we haven't broached on this show in the past, but it definitely is part of the real estate ecosystem, and that is the aging in place issue.
Yes.
And it's an issue with which I'm very close because of recent experience, what's available for people
Mm-hmm.
for alternative living options, because most people don't plan well for
Yeah.
aging. They don't plan well for their loved ones aging.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to take care of them? Who's going to pay for it? How? Where?
Yeah.
They just, and mostly because they don't know the options, and they just want to stick their head in the sand and
Yeah, and
think it's
pretend
not
like
going
it's
to
never going to
happen.
happen. Yeah.
And
We've
so,
done CAP certifications before at the Home Builders Association. Maybe this will drive people to want that certification. That's a certified aging in place specialist, which builders can get that certification, realtors can get that
yeah,
certification.
hmm
And that makes them essentially experts in what you'll be speaking about next week.
So if you're over 50, or your parents are, or your
Mm-hmm.
grandparents are, you should listen to next week's show.
Actually, if you love anyone, or if you'll ever age yourself, because it's important, I think, even when you're purchasing your home, to know these things, because you'll want to know what is available to retrofit.
Well,
If you're building your forever home, it's a good thing to know.
but forever homes are not always forever, as
They're
I've
not.
said before. I'm in my third final home, and it's for sale. So I'm looking at number 4. You want to wrap us up?
I got you. Video podcasts of Real Estate Matters are available on gotoby.com. Click on podcasts on the top navigation bar. Show notes are included so you can see what we did not get to on the show. Also on gotoby.com, the Flagler County interactive map of residential developments and subdivisions, which is updated regularly. It's currently been viewed over 11,000 times.
And parting word, let me be your consultant. If you call me first, if you're thinking of buying or selling real estate in Flagler County, I'll sit and talk with you, and we'll talk about what your needs are, what your financial situation is, what your plans, your goals, your lifestyle objectives, and I'll suit you up with a qualified, very qualified real estate agent or a builder or both, and I'll stay along through the transaction. It's not just a toss you over the fence referral. I'll act as your consultant at no additional cost to you, so I'm free to you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it for this week. Come in next week to hear about living in, or
Aging in place.
Aging in place. But living's part of it.
You should also want to live
kind
there,
of
yeah.
precondition. Okay. Thanks for joining us this week. Look forward to seeing you next week on Toby Tobin, and I approve this show.